Ah, so soothing, this particular song. I like it. How's it going, everybody? How do we sound? I'm assuming we sound at least decent enough. Such a good one. Hello, everyone. How are we doing? I feel like we're doing all right. It's been a while. Folks. But we're here. We're here again. We've been up for a little bit. I think we're gonna have a good one today. How's everyone feeling? All however many you are in here. We're gonna have ourselves a good time. We're gonna have ourselves a good conversation. We have a very cool guest. Like I said on Twitter, is our first international guest. It's real late for them. It's actually like 8:30 on their end. So hopefully we don't keep them up for too long unless they're an insomniac, which I guess it doesn't really matter that much, right? Man. It's going to be a good old time. I can feel it. I can imagine it. I can sense it. We do have a good dude here. Did I die? Did stream die? Is stream alive? What happened? I think stream died for a second. Unless I'm tripping. I'm not sure. Is stream okay, guys? Chat, help me, please. Chat, please. Hey, we are good. Okay. I guess I was just tripping. All right. Hello, everyone. It looks like we are going to be stable enough that I can actually get into this a little bit. Let's talk about our guest. Our guest, like I said, our very first international guest. Yes, our man from Britland. Is a content creator, streamer. You see him on YouTube and on Twitch. He's also a caster in the UK for both Smash and FGC. He's been over here a handful of times. Over here, this side of the pond, as some people would say. He has a in it, bruv. Along with the podcast, he also has a well-known FGC tournament series called Rogue Summit, which is pretty awesome. The fact that, it's one of the cool things that he has. And it's all under the umbrella of a team that he has that's called the Final 3 Productions, which is pretty awesome. I'm glad we're able to get him in. It's been a little while in the running. Yes, and he's also personally one of my goats as well. We're gonna introduce our good buddy Asura. Let's see if we can get him in. Let's see if he's ready. Turn my camera on.
Yep.
Hey, we can hear you, my good sir.
Can you see me is the question.
Yes, we can. And let me go ahead and set over on our end how this should definitely look like, because as of right now, we just kind of see me on screen at the moment. But hey, let's get this going. We are going to send our way over to the main title screen. Everybody say hi. Say hi, everyone. Say hi. How's it going, chat? Oh man, it's been a long time coming for this, my good sir. How you doing?
Yeah, not bad, man. Look, I'm great. I'm excited. It's definitely it's definitely interesting. First time actually being able to do one of these things is it's an experience, right? It's a massive experience. So, naturally I'm very excited. My chat can actually see me now because I've actually got a decent camera. How's it going, guys?
Hell
So,
yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah.
that's always nice as well. But yeah, man, look, I'm excited to have a conversation. That's basically why we're here, and I appreciate you reaching out to me, of
Yeah,
course,
of
for
course.
to have this conversation. Um, yeah,
My
I've just been excited about it, man.
my chat is actually going wild dummy over here, and he's saying that the king looks clear.
Yeah, they can actually finally see my face,
That's
so
good.
it's you
Oh
know what I mean.
man. Oh
So yeah,
brother.
man.
Yeah, I wasn't for a second I wasn't sure when or not we were gonna be able to do this, considering there was a power outage probably about like 45 minutes ago, and then when I was getting ready in the morning, the power went out while I was in the showers. Well, thank God I have a little bit of sunlight up in the window. So, that would have been bad. But I want to say thank you for being here. I know this is a little bit weird because it's like an 8 hour time difference. It's like 8 p.m. over there for you.
I mean, it's all good. Like, it's nothing too crazy. I've done worse. I mean, I normally am up till about 1, 2 a.m. anyway, so
Yeah,
nothing too crazy.
yeah.
It's all good.
um
So,
so I already gave a brief intro to you, and just a little bit of a preamble. I kind of want to start with some of the very beginning, man. Like, I know we actually met in person a little bit last year at Wave Dash, and um he kind of gave me a little bit of glimpse of like how you started with all of this, and how you started with casting, how you started with Smash and everything. Um, but I kind of want to get to like the very beginning. Where does your journey start? Like, where did you find Smash? Where did you find competing? Where did you find this type of
we are
community?
we are opening a deep can of worms here tonight, by the sounds of it.
We are
Um,
honestly. I
yeah.
if you had a chance to see how it was with Dr. No, their story. You had a chance to listen to, Momo, a little bit of his story, and especially at the tail end of that. We do go in pretty deep, and we'll go as deep as you're willing to, man. We'll deep dive to the bottom of the ocean. As long as it's not that one that took out those billionaires for the
Oh
Titanic, we'll be
God.
fine.
Yeah. Let's start getting into that conversation. But look, no. How did I get into all of this?
Yeah,
So
man. What was your start? Where was your beginning? And what's
really good
what's the
question.
origins?
So I remember it was 2017, and I was in Canada with just a bunch of my family members, and we were just me and my cousins were chilling in the attic, or sorry, the basement, and I remember like just pulling up a stream. I think Frostbite 2017 was happening at that time. It
Mm.
might have been Frostbite or something else. There was a Smash Ball tournament on during that time, and so I watched it for the first time. I was like, "There's competitive Smash Brothers. That's so sick." So I was like, "That's actually insane." So I looked at it and went, "Oh, this is awesome. Let me like pick it up and see what it's all about, right?" And so I picked it up, and yeah, it's basically how it started. I just kept watching VODs, just kept watching tournaments. And then later, after I got back home, I started running. I attempted to run Project M on my
Mm.
dusty old Dell laptop with an i3 processor, and like a really old like graphics card. So it didn't really work out too well. I was playing on a literal toaster. So then it kind of shifted for me, and I ended up playing Super Smash Bros. 2 competitively for a little while.
Mm.
Which I know that's a whole different like story in its
Yeah.
own self. SSF2 was kind of how I got my feet in the ground for competitive like fighting games in the beginning, because
Hmm.
there was actually like a whole community around it, and just a bunch of really cool people that were just willing to help us out. And yeah, it was sick. Like that's how I started with it, and then slowly and gradually, I got into Brawlhalla right after I started competing in
Oh,
Brawlhalla for a little bit. Yeah, so I got
really?
like yeah, so I would compete in Brawlhalla for a little while because I didn't have access to Smash 4 at the time. The only time I did was at a gaming cafe near my place.
Hmm.
They held like locals every now and again, so I'd go there and play there, but I never actually owned Smash Bros, so I would have to try and play alternatives to kind of like feed the fuel. And Ultimate had just been announced, so I was kind of like, I was feeling the itch to play some sort of Smash game.
Yeah.
Brawlhalla was kind of like the next best option for me. Rivals I had, but I didn't really understand it all too much at the time, so I was
Mhm.
like consistently playing Brawlhalla. I did okay in the summer 2018 tournament. I got top 1,000, so I was happy with that. But like after
Ooh.
that, just kind of dropped it. Ultimate came out, and I was like, this is it for me. This is like kind of end game. I'll see what I do. And then from there, it's just a roller coaster now. That's
That's
probably the best way to put
actually
it.
that's actually a crazy intro just to being competitive and all the different avenues you got to before you actually ended
Yeah,
up
man.
being at Smash. That's crazy. The
Yeah, man.
Brawlhalla thing, I'm hung up on the Brawlhalla thing because like man, it would have stuck that. You could have been living good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, maybe. Who knows? If I stuck to Brawlhalla, if I stuck to my guns, I would have. But I mean, look, I wanted something different. I wanted Ultimate. That was my
Yeah.
end goal. So we're here with that, and I'm
So
I'm I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it.
how did how was like their first like real like competitive like what was your first real competitive thing then? Like I
Um,
know you like you literally just said the entire journey, but like
yeah.
how like where was the first time you said, you know what, this is yeah, it's more than just like trying to like play like because there's a difference between like being like an active enjoyer of fighting games, platform fighters, and all that stuff, and trying to enjoy it. But then there's like competing, like yeah, like, oh, I'm trying to get good.
Yeah.
Like is that where it stemmed from? Was it like with PM? Was it with Brawlhalla or where was that actually like coming from?
So the journey started there. I mean, like when I picked up Brawlhalla, it was kind of like for the fun of it. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, let me just kind of mess around and see where I get to, and then enter tournaments for fun. But the like drive to compete for the first time around was when, again, like the dying stages of Smash 4, so around August of
Mm.
2018. So this is just before Ultimate was coming out. And I was like, I'm gonna just try and go as ham as possible with Smash Bros. Picked up Mario and like went 0-2 at my first local. went went into full Bayo and just lost, and I was like, you know
Oh,
what,
of
I'm gonna do it
course.
again next week. So I was consistently just doing that, and yeah, I mean, I ended up as a commentator, but 5 years ago I wouldn't have known that. But that was
Mm.
where the competitive drive started from, and then it continued slowly into Ultimate. I would focus on then just trying to get good with Mario. I tried to pick that character up, try to breach, and then slowly and gradually, I was kind of like um towards like the end of college, or we call it college here, but like don't know what you guys would call it there, but like towards the end of
College.
that sort of period, yeah, towards the end of that period, we were kind of like, I was kind of just like, I'm just super burnt out with competing. I wasn't doing too well. 33rds all around the board, I wasn't very good, so I was kind of like, I need something new to do. And yeah, just picked out a new avenue, so that's where the competitive sort of stuff went, for sure. So yeah.
And so it sounds like so kind of by
Mm,
the sounds of it, your real like competitive was really like in the midst of like, the 2018, 2019, like literally like right before, the whole world shuts down and we kind of lose a lot of forward momentum, so to speak.
yeah. Yeah.
Like what was that time like? Like I know you were saying right now that like between when you first started and it's kind of like when you moved on, you were kind of like in that 33rd, but like what was that kind of like journey like in the middle of it? And like before we actually touch on the
Um,
casting, like what kind of made you have the realizations like, yes, I want to be competitive too. I'm not sure if this is for me anymore, at least in this
yeah,
way.
yeah. Okay, so I competed in a tournament at the tail end of 2019, and I got 33rd again, just one set away from 32nd,
Oof.
or at least breaking into top 32. I did well in the amateurs bracket, and then afterwards I was just kind of like, I don't really feel this anymore as much.
Hmm.
I had friends in the Smash community at the time that I was like kind of close with, but then afterwards I kind of just started slowly distancing myself and realizing that this wasn't for me.
Hmm.
So I kind of just focused on my education mostly. Just kind of trying to make myself feel a little bit more social, and just trying to become more of a social butterfly with people around me in my personal space and personal life.
Yeah.
And I realized that this was probably better for me, right? So naturally, later down the line, when lockdown happened, I was kind of like, well, I've got to find something to do now.
Yeah.
Um, and just like just like a drug, you go back to it. And I find myself on the tail end of a bunch of online tournaments. I'm
Every
part of an
time.
org. Like, there's a bunch of things going down, so I'm competing underneath an org, doing so many online tournaments, and then after a while, I'm just kind of like, nah, this is not for me. The thing is that sort of weird 2020, 2021 period, or that lockdown period was,
Mm-hmm.
if you know me personally, it was a very dark time in my life. Very dark.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure it was the case for everybody else, but I was going through quite a lot mentally.
I remember you
S-
brought like
yeah,
you brought it up a little bit during Wave Dash. The kind of like
yeah,
it was a very rough period during this time frame.
yeah. I mean, you can ask anybody. Like, the last 4 years of if you know me personally, the last 4 or so years of my life have been absolute hell. So
Oh
the guys that I've had behind me have always been nothing but supportive and nothing but the best. So
yeah.
during that sort of 2020, 2021 period, it was just a really dark time in my life. I just didn't know what I was doing. A bunch of things were going wrong. I was losing friends left, right, and center, and
Oof.
it was a messy period. I just didn't want to do Smash. I wanted to do something else, and I kind of gravitated slowly towards streaming.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, and just before that, like the way I got into it was obviously I would stream like small things. I had a really tiny laptop that would just that I would run like Nuzlocke off of. I don't know if anybody in the chat will
Nice.
remember that from years ago, but I used to do like I did an Emerald Nuzlocke that I never finished. Um, Maybe I'll do it again. Who knows? But yeah, I did that and I just never finished it. And then afterwards, later down the line, I would start streaming Ultimate just a little bit more. And one of my mates who's actually in chat right now, his name's Trash. I'd shout to him.
Hey.
Would actually lend me his capture card, his Elgato, and would let me stream with it every single week until he needed it back. And I would be like, all right, cool, And it was my sort of gateway to getting into Smash. Once again, I was finding myself a little bit more. I was trying to get into that sort of space of streaming Ultimate more and more and more, hosting
Mm-hmm.
arenas and yada yada yada. And thanks to him, I was able to sort of kick it off a little bit more. Um, Gave it back to him. But during that sort of lockdown time, I then ended up getting a capture card, started streaming a little bit more here and there. I didn't do much else towards the end of 2020, but like 2021, when I started university for the first year, I was like, I've got nothing better to do with my life at the moment aside from my education, and just stream the hell out of Smash. And
Yep.
so for the entirety of 2021, it was just straight like it's either Guilty Gear or Smash that I would consistently keep streaming.
Mm-hmm.
And throughout that entire year, it was just the same thing. Um, and yeah, I mean, that's mostly where we were with our streaming thing, and it was going well for the most part. But then I
Yeah.
kind of like dropped it like later down the line. So
So I know, shrug.
whoops, I guess
Whoops.
like,
To be
but
fair,
yeah,
like at this point now, like a lot of what people know you for is now your commentary, and a lot of all of the content stuff that you have created. Like as of I want to say last week now, you literally just put out a video of Smash Jeopardy, and I'm gonna tell you right now,
yeah,
man. I played along in my brain. I'm like, man, there's some of that stuff I don't even know, and I was there for 64, man.
yeah. I mean, it's interesting when you put together a video like that, and most of the guys or most of your chat, you know, they're from Ultimate. They don't know previous games. Some
Yeah.
of them had knowledge of like Brawl and stuff. So that was really fun. But I think the Jeopardy video was really fun to film because everyone was just really clueless about it. So I felt bad, but I also didn't feel bad, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
I hear
putting
you.
my community through the ringer was actually quite hilarious. So yeah, it was fun. But no regrets, no regrets. It was
No,
good.
no, no, no. The one that like which question was it? There was it the board the platforms one? There's like
Yeah,
I have
yeah,
no idea
yeah,
because it
yeah.
was only in 64.
That's right. Yeah, all the platforms was only in 64. It didn't show up anywhere else. So I
Yeah.
mean, yeah,
Well, they got in the chat. One. What was it one Jeopardy player up in yep. Oh yeah, that was at the end of the day. That was literally that was a one player game, but for the whole
yeah.
video.
shout out to Infinite and Kamu, who are both in chat right now. But yeah, both of them literally came first and fourth.
Both
so,
ends of the spectrum.
Both ends of the spectrum are here in chat right now, so you know how it goes. But yeah, like stuff like that, right? Like I love to just create content videos with my community. At least we're starting to slowly push it. Tonight we're recording Scribble.io Smash Brothers edition, so look forward to that when that comes out. So we're doing that. Hopefully that video does a little bit better because we will be like actually putting some more work into the editing. Hopefully,
more,
yeah. And so yeah, I mean, look, I'm excited. It's definitely a new change, but yeah, in terms of I know you asked earlier about commentary stuff, and yeah, we're in a very weird place right now when it comes to the commentary scene, but I don't think that's just for me. I think it's quite literally for a lot of people at the moment. Yeah, I don't know if I think a lot of people caught my tweet yesterday where I said unfortunately I didn't make it to regen, which does kind of suck, you know. But then after a while, I kind of just sat on the thought and went, you know what, it's alright. We'll do better. We'll come back better. So it is what it is. These things happen. And when I find the reasons why, I'll just work on myself, to be honest. So yeah.
I know you had said to again during Wave Dash that like commentary was like a very important thing to kind of like happen, like for those in the chat that don't really know, and however you want to explain about it and talk about it, like let us know like what's up with that. Like how did you go from, you know, not really competing to, you know, kind of dealing with some of this very difficult point of your life, and how commentary played a role in it. And I know there was like a very specific link for it, you know, what commentary did and what it was doing for you. And again, for those that don't know, I kind of want to hear about it a little bit more, because I didn't really get a chance to actually talk about it with you when we were at Wave Dash.
Yeah. It was like very brief. I think we spoke about it for like maybe a couple seconds before I had to go and do my block. But yeah, I mean, look, the first time I ever commentated was December 2021. I kind of just filled in a spot for fun. And it was nice, you know. I enjoyed it. It was cool. I didn't see it as something that I would do again personally. I kind of just sat on the thought, and I was at the time I was streaming actively, so I was kind of like, I don't really see myself doing this in any way, shape, or form. 2022 rolls around, and I'm just kind of like mentally, I'm not there. You could ask again. Most of the people in the chat, or some people in the chat that know me personally, would know that basically during that sort of weird time towards the start of 2022, I was just cooped up in my room. I was depressed as all hell. I would barely go to lectures, because a lot of things were going wrong during that time. I'm not going to specify what, because it's a bit much, but like a lot of things were going wrong during that time period where my mental was just down the drain. Worse than it, you know, it always has been. So you know, afterwards, two of my mates or two of my friends, you know, they woke me up one day and they said, "Hey, there's a local called Meltdown. You should come with us, right?" And I'm just sitting in my room and I'm just like, I don't really do Smash anymore, but I'm down to just see what's up. So they pushed me to try some commentary out. Yeah, it was open mic. Meltdown is open mic, so they gave me the opportunity to do that. I was like, sure, why not? You know, I did my first week commentary, loved it, killed it. I think everyone enjoyed it. I got loads of like really positive praise on my Twitter, which I hadn't used in like half a year. So it was really nice to sort of see like people enjoy the things that was being said on commentary at the time. And obviously I look back at the VOD and I'm like, damn, what was I doing? But yeah, looking at it back then, it was like, wow, that was not it at all. But no, you know, I had so many incredible people come to me and go like, you know, you have such a nice voice, your commentary is genuinely really good, and yada yada yada. And then slowly and gradually that kind of pushed me out of like my shell of not wanting to do anything and actually wanting to pursue something because it's finally working out, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what I wanted to, it's kind of what I wanted to work on. And slowly and gradually, week by week, I would go to Meltdown consistently and just commentate weeks on end, whether it be the tournament from beginning to end or just a couple blocks or whatever. And here and there, and I'd get advice from top casters, people that came in that haven't heard me cast before and stuff like that, and I just consistently get really nice comments. In 2022, I absolutely just smashed it out of the park.
Yeah.
Regionals left, right, and center, because it was a busy year. 2022 for Ultimate was a very busy year.
Oh
Left,
yeah.
right, and center. We had regionals everywhere. I was traveling up and down the country. Towards the end of the year, I did my first international major, and that was like my first actual year of commentary, so I was doing really well. And I was really, really happy with it overall. So I was able to just break out of my shell, network again, feel like I was actually doing something a little bit more.
Hmm.
I wasn't streaming as much, but I was focusing a lot on commentary, because week in, week out, it's all I knew. And like 3 weeks into the start of my career, we get shifted onto VG Bootcamp. So now there are more eyes on us.
Yeah.
So that was a big deal. Not just for me, but for the people that were in that community, in that space. Shout out to the London scene, and a lot of us were just in that spot where we were like, wow, now we get like more eyes on us. Now we have more people knowing our names, and slowly and gradually, I was able to like sort of build a small following from that and make more friends out of it. Because a lot of people will see my stuff and then they'll just enjoy it. And I was just really happy with the comments that I was receiving on my commentary. So, yeah.
Yeah, and like you were saying too, that like the whole being featured on VGBC does a lot more than like what people like realize too, and not just for the individual, but like for your local scene in general, right? You had Meltdown. What's the other one? DAT. That's the other one.
The Meltdown is run by the DAT team, so
yeah, exactly.
It would be that Monday Meltdown. So
yeah, exactly. Okay, there you go. That one. So like the fact that it's on there, and like I want to say before I even heard you or seen you in person, like probably that might have been like the first time I ever heard your voice. Was I was like, oh, let me catch this one. This one, never seen this local before, and I was like, oh, let me throw on a VOD, and chances are one of those first voices I heard was yours at that point. Yeah. So
you never really know.
Yeah, you never have an idea of like where your journeys take you, and just because just great happenstances like that, what I mean, like, and within like a relatively short time frame, like you kind of did a whole lot, and obviously because there was a whole lot there for you, exactly. And you were able to take advantage of it, which I think is awesome. You said like you were able to like travel out of the country within, or at least travel majorly within your first year, right? So like that would mean you've already moved leaps and bounds at a very opportune time for everyone in Smash, but the fact that you're able to do it too is pretty awesome. Like, and what I kind of want to ask, and like thinking about it, like what was that like first out of region experience or like out of country experience? And I definitely kind of want to ask too later in a little bit, like your first out, like being in a whole different hemisphere type of deal. Yeah. So like,
sure.
So what were those experiences like, and how did those experiences start?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, look, my first ever experience was would have been Vienna for I was about to say Wave Dash. No, it was for VCA 2022. I only got one block during that major, but it was huge. And they always say that you never forget your first major, and it's true. It was my first ever international major that I worked. I did a major previously called Boss Battles Phase 1 that was in London, but a couple of weeks out afterwards, I'd flown to Vienna for the first time. It was weird. It felt weird because it was also in the middle of a Comic-Con, so there were like people coming around, and the chairs were already full of just Smash players, but there were people coming around in cosplays, listening to us. Like we were sat in the middle, like where the commentary booth was. It was sat like directly in the middle of like both of the crowd rows. That's and funny. So if there was ever like a crazy moment happening on stream, and either one of us is like getting really hype about it, there's always like somebody in the things like, who the hell's shouting, turns around and looks, and they're like, oh, it's that guy over there, right? So I've had like awkward moments where I'll call a play out, and there's just this one Austrian dude on the side right next to me, just eyeing me with like 3 kids on the side, and I'm just like, They probably have no idea what I'm saying, but you know what? It's all good. And they only had the English stream on VG Bootcamp as well, so I think it
Really?
must have been a little bit weirder. Yeah. So it must have been a little bit weirder, but the way they had us stationed, it was amazing. And yeah, I mean, look, it was a great time. The UK brought a win home, so it was really cool to just have a ton of people there from my home country, just be there to not only support the commentators, but also just the people that were competing there as well. But I think I should just also go ahead and say that it was a huge tournament, not just for the UK because we obviously Bloom had won that tournament, but it was a huge tournament for the UK because it was the first time that a set of casters from the UK actively got to do a VCA.
Really?
The previous year, none of us got VCA like at all. And this year, to be a part of the 4 casters that got that opportunity to actually fly out to Vienna to do that first event was an honor. So it was me, Smar, Focus Miss, and Fabs, and the 4 of us were selected to do commentary from the UK side. And I was like, what? I remember getting the call at like 8 p.m. in the evening and just kind of being like, that's so random, but like, sure, I'm so down to do it,
I'm
I kind of
ready.
just sent in an application as like a YOLO, and they were like, yeah, we want you on. I was like, get me on that, man. It's going to be awesome. So yeah, that was great. It was a massive honor. We got an article written about it as well, so that was really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, like you never really truly forget your first ever major, and it brought so many eyes to my work, and I was very happy with it naturally. So yeah, I mean, I can't complain.
And there was that, and then not too long after, you have, man, now you got to travel to the US.
Yeah, man.
I know. Again, it was a very short conversation we had, but like you had said that like you jumped off the plane, then straight to the pre-local.
Oh yeah, that is I will never forget. I've said this so many times. When someone asks me what my favorite tournament of all time is, I'll just tell them that my favorite experience was always Wave Dash 2023. Always Wave Dash. Because literally the moment I landed at LAX, I met up with Nick District. I had like no sleep on the flight whatsoever. It was an 11-hour flight. Me and Nick met up, went and picked up Momo from the hotel, and then the 3 of us like got something really quick to eat, and then just
booked it to Inland Empire, right?
Booked it straight all the way down to Game Lab, and all of us were just gone. I was tired as hell. Momo was tired. Nick I think he had a ton of energy. You can never really tell with him because like Nick could be really tired at some points, and he just has a ton of energy. I think we were the carpool back on the first day of Wave Dash. They were driving to Club Smash, and I remember Nick had like a ton of energy after we had ramen at like 1 a.m. And then like 10 minutes into the drive back, dude's out like a light. It's the funniest thing. It's so funny. But yeah, like I was saying, as soon as we got to Game Lab, they were like, yeah, we need you on for comms. I was like, cool. No sleep. Completely different time zone. 2-hour block. 3 Red Bulls. Me and Momo smashed it out of the park. Because like it was great, and I loved every single second of it. Yeah, it was amazing. I'd do it again, 100%. I don't even care. I didn't get any sleep. I'd do it again.
Do it again, man. Yeah, man. That's
absolutely.
Yeah, when you come over to a whole nother country to do the kind of stuff, it's amazing what you're willing to put your body through.
I was excited, man. I had like it was just pure adrenaline. I think that was just running through my veins throughout the entirety of the thing, and I was just not feeling so tired. I was buzzed for sure, but I just come off this plane, and now I have to go commentate. And I think the reason that happened was because Cirque couldn't make it that day, and he was coming in the next day, and so he was like, "I need a replacement," and I was like, "I'll do it. I think I can make it for 5 p.m. My flight lands at 3. I'm sure I can make it." Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah, man. And see, I think the only mistake that you made was drinking Red Bull, because this is America, man. The amount of caffeine that you had in those 3 Red Bulls, you could have had in 1 Bang energy drink, and you should have been fine. I know like the legal limit over there is like 130 or 140 milligrams of caffeine. But here we got 400 milligram caffeine. We got lemonade that'll kill you from the caffeine. There you go.
That's what I'm saying. I should have been more careful about the whole thing. But no, I just no hesitation, took it, drank it, and just ran, man. It was great. Yeah. I'll never forget.
Yeah, next time, yeah, not the Panera lemonade. Yeah,
Panera
exactly.
lemonade. Is that what that is?
We'll get
Okay.
you the Panera lemonade. Yeah,
For
literally,
sure. For
uh,
sure.
it's not a joke. Panera lemonade had so much caffeine, it actually killed 2 different people.
Ooh, I don't know if I'm trying to die in LA or like,
So I'm going to do a quick tangent to let you know what the hell happened. So
sure.
Panera has this thing where it's I think you pay like $30 a month or something, but every time you can go in, you can go and get a free refill right away without having to buy another drink. So if you get like, if you plan on being there for like a couple hours or something, you need to do some work, you pay your $20, $30, or however much it is. I don't remember how exactly how it is. And then you get your refills on whatever it is you want, as long as you make your initial purchase there. Right.
Right. Okay.
And the
Yeah,
Panera
makes sense.
had just released, they call it the charged lemonade.
Oh
And
no.
the thing was, that also was on that list of free refills. But the problem is, people didn't realize, and they weren't really advertising the caffeine contents in it. The initial Panera lemonade at its original size had 390 milligrams of caffeine. And
No
keep in
way.
mind, the upper recommended limit for caffeine intake in a single day is 400. So people were taking 2 or 3 of these at a time. So the first person that died ended up having a heart condition, and they had like 4 of those lemonades in like 2 hours.
No.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Why would you?
Again,
yeah.
they didn't know. Again, they didn't know. The second person that died had the refined changed recipe that went from 380 milligrams of caffeine to 280 milligrams of caffeine, but they were still drinking like 3, 4 3 or 4 of those at a time.
Though. That's mental, man. No, I could. Yeah, no.
And last I heard,
yeah,
the charged lemonade is still like at 250 or something like that, 280. It's still on there. It's still part of the unlimited refills, but they have to put it behind the counter, and they have to let you know what you're drinking.
Wow. Yeah, well, no, they have to now. I mean, people died, dude.
People literally died.
I mean, I'll have one Panera, but that's about it. But like, damn, that's crazy.
Let's put it this way. That the amount of fats and sugar in the original recipe outdid the amount of fat in an American Big Mac. So that particular lemonade had more fat and sugar and calories than an American Big Mac.
That's horrible. That's so bad, dude. I know like exactly about the calorie count, because when I went to Texas, they were telling me all about it, and I was like, "That's mental." And to hear that that's more than that is even worse. That's nah.
I mean, speaking of that, like you were freaking out for the size of the medium at
okay, yeah. So
and Banjo goes like, "Hey, you shut your mouth and drink it," and he busts out the large, and it's like a 2-liter.
Yep. Shout out to Banjo, man. He was what a guy, dude. What a guy. He took good care of me throughout the entire trip in Texas. He was great. He was great. He was just showing me around everywhere. I was basically with him like 24/7. But yeah, dude, for those that don't know, there's a very famous video that went around for like a better portion of that Friday night, and a lot of people saw the video. I got a lot of people asking me about it, and they were like, "How could you not get through the drink?" I was like, "Have you seen the size of that medium cup?" So yeah, for those of you that don't know, we went to Whataburger. It was insane, and we got our orders, and I was like, "Oh, I'll get a medium." How big can it be, right? So I get a medium Coke. I'm like, "All right, cool." So I sit down, right? It's fairly big. I'm like, "Damn, this thing is huge." And I'm talking to Kid about it, SSB Kid. I'm talking to him about it, and some of the other Mexican homies. And while I'm drinking it, Banjo comes and sits down. And as you said before, he goes to me, he goes, "Oh yeah, that's big, huh?" Literally slams his one on the table. He goes, "That's a large, by the way." I'm like, "You lot are mental." Safe to say, I didn't get through that first cup at all. And then the second day we went back, I posted a video of, or I posted a picture of the same cup, and they were like, everyone on Twitter was like, "Good luck." And then I posted it again. I was like, "I destroyed the cup," and a couple people were like, "Yo, good stuff, man." I was like, "Yo, you know what? I'm evolving, man. I'm learning. I'm adapting." You know?
You're
I was getting used to it.
That's how you really adapt to the American scene. The
Exactly,
jet lag,
man,
no. The jet lag,
No.
no. The culture, no.
Food, man.
It's handling the food, man. Like that's how you get it, man. I was
Crazy, bro.
I was telling Momo too. Like the next time he makes it down over here to SoCal, and I'm gonna do the same for you next time you come down to SoCal. Hopefully, one of y'all are available. I want to take you to my favorite taco spot because they have spots all over, but the one that I like to go to is in the San Fernando Valley. So you're probably about 50-ish minutes north of where Wave Dash was. About 50-ish.
Okay, that's not too bad, yeah.
Maybe an hour, depending on that. And there's a place called Angeles Tacos, and they have the
that's
potato.
How you know it's gonna be good.
They have the potato.
Yeah.
And you may be thinking, what the hell is so damn good about potato? Well, obviously, it's an extremely large American potato. I want to say American potato because I think that gives a better idea of how big this damn thing is. Like, I swear to God, you could probably like throw it like two of them at someone, and you probably can be hit with attempted murder charges. That's how intense this potato is. All right, they cut it down the middle, have to steam it, put a little bit of butter. They take your meat of choice. They put it on the griddle after it's been cut, warmed up. Throw probably about like 2 giant handfuls of cheese. Drop it over, mix it in, drop it on top of the potato, and on top of that, they put your salsa roja verde, your guacamole, a little bit of onion and cilantro, and then they give you about 6 tortillas to try to eat that damn thing.
That's crazy. What is this, a challenge? Like, what do you mean 6?
It's not a challenge, man. That's just the serving.
I'm not making out.
I can't eat a whole one by myself. Between me and my fiance, we can barely get to like 3/4 of the damn thing. But it's somehow normal over here. Yeah, man, super normal. I don't know what you're talking about, brother.
Well, next time I'm down there, let's do it.
Yeah,
I'll take it. Let's do it. Me, you, Momo, and maybe some of the other guys. Let's do it. I'm down.
We'll figure it out. We'll take the trip over to the San Fernando Valley, and we'll show you how we do it over here. Like nah, the American food is good and all that jazz, but we gotta show you how the Mexican food is. Let's put it this way, brother. Their particular burrito is intensely large. Like, God, I feel I don't have anything that has proper. Hold on. What's the conversion rate of 8 inches to centimeters?
I mean, I already know what like 8 inches is. I mean, that's huge, nonetheless, right? It's quite big.
Yeah. So the burrito is about this big, right?
Dude, all right.
And it's about this much across, so probably about 3.5 to 4 inches across.
Wow.
And I'm telling you, yeah. So it's about 20 centimeters. There you go. Hey, brother, listen. This ain't about American cuisine. It's about Mexican cuisine. All right, quieto, man, chill. You can't be putting that voodoo on me. Anyway,
that's crazy.
I swear to God, like they put it together. They load that shit up, and sometimes it only holds together with hopes and dreams and foil.
Hopes and dreams isn't exactly what I was expecting, but you know what?
It only stays together with hopes and dreams and foil.
Hopes and dreams and foil.
Yeah,
that's the magic combination right there, man. It's magic.
That's the only way the burrito stays together, man. That's the only way it stays together. Man. You chop it in half, and you literally have 2 meals in a single burrito. And like, again, it feels like a challenge to those who are uninitiated, but that's just how we do it, man.
For sure, for sure. No, I mean,
And only
yeah,
$10, and only $10, worth it, man.
not bad though. That's not bad. Like, I mean, for the size and everything,
Yeah,
could be
man.
worse, right?
That's what I'm telling you, man. Hopes and dreams in foil, and I'm trying to mod my Switch too. Yeah, man. Hopes and dreams in foil. That's it works for good burritos and modding your Switch. That is very true.
Shout out to tinfoil, man.
Shout outs to tinfoil.
Shout out to tinfoil.
Shout out to the homie Reynolds foil.
Oh man. But yeah, man, look, American cuisine is something else, man.
I'm telling you, dude, bro. We do shit differently up here, man. None of that.
100%. 100%.
It's strange how there's so much. Yeah, you have no idea. Exactly, brother. You have no idea. Like, if we had a plate of like Chinese food, you would probably die from all the sodium.
Probably.
You would get gout. Like, no doubt.
Oh man, I probably would. I'm not even gonna lie. I probably would. I'm trying not to, but I probably would. I mean, I was in Vegas, like literally the week after Rise and Grind. I remember most of the house, that I was sharing with. Most of us we lived off of Wingstop for like the entire week, just pure Wingstop. And the greatest part is 3 of the people in that house were European, and 2 of them were like from Malaysia. So none of us were actually like from America. It was just a bunch of foreigners living in a house, living off of nothing but Wingstop and pizza for the entire week. Yeah. And it was the greatest thing of all time, man. Let me tell you, so good.
Oh man, poor guy. We should have shown you some of our fresher stuff, but don't let it be Subway, because the Subway bread is technically cake.
No, hell no. Nah, we don't. We staying away from that for sure. But I mean, yeah, man.
But yeah, so like, yeah, you had a pretty intense like day right before or leading up to Wave Dash, and like, what was that process like? I mean, you kind of experienced, going to Vienna. But like, what was that process like going, coming to the US? Like, what was that like?
Very different beast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a completely different beast. When you go to the States for the first time, I found it was intimidating because I had no idea who anyone was in the scene. I'd known like maybe a couple people, 1 or 2 people here. Like, I knew Jet, I knew Nick, Momo, Wolfie. But I'd never obviously never seen them face to face, but never really had much of a conversation with them either. So, for the first time I was meeting those people and then a bunch of others. So I was naturally quite intimidated at first because I didn't know how any of it was going to go. Sorry. But, after that first night in LA, I was like, I felt great. Everyone was super welcoming. I genuinely, I say this a lot. I miss the NA scene every single time I go because everyone is just so welcoming. Yeah. Everyone's just really, really nice. I've never had a tournament experience the way I did at Wave Dash. Like, events here, they're great, but 99% of the time I just kind of go speak to like maybe 1 or 2 people and leave. Wave Dash, I was spending the entire weekend with people that I just met the day before. The thing is, that's what I found that was really interesting, is just everyone was just super welcoming, super kind, and they were just willing to take you up on anything, willing to just do things with you, and it was really, really cool. But sort of leading up to that first day of Wave Dash, I was really nervous at the same time as well, because it's a brand new audience. No one really knows who I am, especially if you're not in the EU scene, especially at that time. So it was kind of different, getting into that and just kind of being like, okay, well, I have to now introduce myself to people because they don't know who I am, and I felt that was quite intimidating. But I had a couple people with me, so I was okay. But yeah, I was excited, man. I just wanted to get on the mic and just show people that I'm capable of doing stuff. And that was it, really.
Yeah. There was also the back corner where I think it was you, Kimona, and Momo, and I know someone else, I think, just running a full, Gucci. A whole rotational Street Fighter.
Those SF6 had literally just dropped the week or two
Yeah.
before, and like all of us were just playing the game. And I was like, I didn't bring my fight sticks. I didn't realize somebody actually brought a setup. So yeah, it was like I think grand finals was happening for Ultimate, and all the commentators, aside from like Charles and maybe EE, were obviously they were casting at the time, but every other commentator was just playing Street Fighter 6.
Yep.
And it was all of us were just like, we can't be asked to watch the grand finals. We're just gonna play Street Fighter, and it was great. I loved it. It was good fun. I got humbled quite a couple times,
Yeah.
but it was nice. For sure, for sure. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it was great.
I still think it's funny because like I was always thinking to myself as I was like walking through the event. I was like, I wonder where most of these people are. And like it was just everyone just hunched over, curled over like this one PC.
Yep, and everyone was playing just Street Fighter at that point.
Yeah. No one gave
great.
no one gave any fucks really about any Smash game whatsoever during that entire time frame.
I remember PK left like midway through top 8. He was like, "I'm done, man. I'm going home." I was like, "All right." So he left. Gucci and the others, all of us were just chilling outside. We waited for the tournament to end, and even while the guys were packing up, we were still playing Street Fighter. So I mean, even then, none of us really felt like moving at all.
Yeah.
So you know, I guess. But
So
yeah.
how long were you here post Wave Dash? Were you just like on the plane like the next morning, or what was that? You were just leaving right there and then basically.
Yeah. I like literally the next morning I just left. I was at Club Smash for that night, and Wolfie dropped me to the airport literally the morning of the Monday. I flew back, got back on I think the Tuesday it was, because it's times were different. So yeah, I got back like the Tuesday evening. Um and yeah, I just had to leave immediately, unfortunately, which kind of sucked at the time. I wish I could have stayed longer, honestly.
I
It
uh
was so cool.
I asked Momo the same question of like, were you able to do anything outside of be at Wave Dash and um like outside of Wave Dash or the pre-local? But it seemed like the only thing is it outside of Wave Dash and the pre-local was literally that same laptop I was just talking about right now.
Yeah, I mean, outside of maybe Street Fighter, what else did we do? Fro took me and who else was with us? I'm trying to remember. It was me, Fro, and Dre. Me,
Mhm,
Fro, and Dre were housing together for the weekend.
mhm,
So Fro would take us out to breakfast and show us some really cool spots. Whenever Dre had to go to a tournament, he went by himself, and me and Fro would go like maybe just watch like some TV or something. So I would mostly spend my weekend with Fro, and we would
mhm.
just kind of chill out. He was really, again, super super helpful, really nice guy. Housed me, really, and just made it more comfortable, made me feel more comfortable with in SoCal. Um, and so yeah, that was mostly it. I was just kind of taking it easy between days that commentary was done, because as soon as I finished doing the work, I was just super tired, and
Yeah.
most of us went out to eat, and then we just head back and then wake up the next day and get ready for our blocks. So yeah, I wish I had more time to do stuff, but I didn't really, unfortunately, didn't get that much time, which sucks. But
I
maybe
mean,
next
it's
time
fine.
for sure.
There's always the next time. I mean, Wave Dash is coming back next year, so who knows? I mean, I'm assuming it's coming back next year. That's what it made.
I
That's what they made.
I
That's
I,
what they
I
made it
hear
seem
it's
like.
coming back. I
That's
hear it's
that.
coming back next year.
I
So
mean,
we'll see.
they Top Shelf did put it out there that it seemed like they were going to come back. So here's hoping. Here's
Yeah.
hoping.
Yeah, exactly.
And maybe you'll have a little, maybe show up a little bit like a day or two earlier, and maybe go to like downtown Disney or something, man. Because
I'd
it's
love to.
yeah,
I'd love
dude.
to.
It's there's so much to do in SoCal outside of the tournament. I remember, um, who was it? It was Sajam had a video where he was talking to Tasty Steve, and he said like some of his favorite parts of like going to tournaments is to not be at a tournament and like kind of just see what's around in the area, what can you do, what can you find in the area that will definitely supplement your time there, outside of the scene, because being a part of the scene is super awesome. It's never a bad thing to be a part of, but like
Mm,
sometimes just seeing like what's out there, especially in your instance where you're literally traveling from a different portion of the world to come here to kind of be in a similar experience that you partake in from time to time, but there's that little bit of something that's a little bit different. And my hope again is you get a chance to do something like that and kind of experience the US a little bit more, be shocked by more crazy food sizes by different people.
for sure, man. For sure, I would love that more than anything. Honestly.
So you kind of experienced the international scene a little bit, and you had the whole wave dash behind you, and now it's time to head home, man. Like,
Yeah.
that flight back, like what was it like, kind of like essentially coming down from the high of just like being around somewhere else, something ridiculously foreign, and kind of just, I guess, coming back to normal everyday life. There's people say the post tournament blues and
Yeah.
all that jazz, but like, what was that experience like, having done something that probably you didn't think was really going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, look, these things kind of just happen, and you have to you take those opportunities, and you have to be grateful for them. I think. I didn't take that opportunity for granted at all. And as you said, just coming back from that high and landing, back in London, I felt empty, I guess. I wanted to do it all over again, basically. If I could replay that weekend like 3,000 times over, I would.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to do. And so obviously being being able, coming back, I was just really empty. I didn't feel very good at all. I remember just kind of coming back in my room and the first thing I did was just lie down on my bed for like half an hour and just kind of think about now what. Whenever
Yeah.
I come back from another tournament in another country, I just come back and that's all I do. I lie down and think about for like half an hour. I'm like, now what do I do? Because at this point I wasn't actively streaming either as well, so I didn't have anything that I was working towards or looking towards, and I just graduated from university. Oh no, I haven't graduated just yet, but by that point I just finished my final year at university, so I was just in just kind of like this weird position of now what, I don't know what to do. Um, and yeah, it was nice, but I wanted to do it again. Like I had the itch. Luckily, there were tournaments going around, but every time I do them, I'd go to the next tournament I'd do, and I'd be like, ah, it's not the same.
Yeah.
It's really not the same. And I do regret it because I do wish I had more time with the guys. Again, shout out to Jet, Momo, Nick, PK Gucci, Wolfie, you, Vance, and like a bunch of others. Z-Fly and Charles as well, who I got to do a block with, which was really, really cool.
Yeah.
Uh, and yeah, like shout out to everyone that was in that area. Like I keep saying it, like if I had to add a favorite region, that SoCal region is probably one of my favorite regions of all time. Like they're just amazing. So yeah, I felt very empty. And I want to go back. I keep saying it to everyone. I need to go back. I need to go back no matter what
It's not
because
it's not a want anymore.
yeah,
It's just it's a
it's a
need,
need.
man.
It's a need. I'm telling you, man. It's a need. Like I need to be back in that region. I need to perform again, man. So
every
I was excited.
every tournament is just methadone until you can get that real good hit.
Oh, absolutely, man. Like, I was just feeling the excitement, dude. Like I need this more than anything. I need to go back. I need to just see it, see everyone again. And I think I got that satisfaction at Rising Grind when I got to reunite with Wolfie and Momo for the first time in like 3 or 4 months. That was really cool as well. I got to see
Hmm.
them. Um, and then after that, like I haven't seen them since, but I'm sure the next time we all meet again and everyone's together again, it'll be really fun. But
Definitely.
but yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it's always the nicest thing about it is I have so many cool people that I know that I can really call friends in the scene that I would love to just spend more time with again because they were just
Hmm.
an absolute vibe to chill with. Um, but that over anything else in the tournament experience is just my friends, really. That's it. Yeah,
And
man.
those bonds, man. It's like there's the there's a saying that like not people that everyone misquotes it. It's the saying that
Mm,
people say, "Oh, blood is thicker than water." And it's like, well, that's not really the quote. The quote is, "The blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb." I mean, the friendships and bonds that you create will always have a stronger connection than some of the forced bonds that are put upon you, right? And yeah, in scenes like this where you have more community and more connection to people than you thought you ever would because of the intense form of proximity and the intense type of energy that you get to share with others is unlike what a lot of normal people can ever see. The closest like type of energy that I can say that replicates what would probably be if you're in like a local music scene. Like for me growing up, I grew up in the punk scene in my area and in the and in the hardcore scene and the metalcore scene and the LA ska scene, and like you can tell like there's a certain type of passion that hits when everyone's there for a specific kind of thing, and it's very tribal in a way that kind of like draws people, and you can have like massive experiences that are so finite and like and so minuscule in the grand scheme of things, because the moment you have another concert like that or like a tournament like that, it it's the same one, but it's always so different. There's a form of chaos that like you
exactly.
kind of like envelop yourself in, that anyone who is an outsider won't understand unless they are prone to wanting to be a part of that chaos, to understand the intricacies of everything that's in there at the same time frame. And yeah, the being in a tournament scene like that and then having such strong friendships and connections like that, it's so surreal for people who are not a part of it to truly understand, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, as I said before, Momo and Nick I speak to a lot these days. Ever since I, obviously couldn't see them again. It was like I still speak to them every hear them suck. And I spoke with Gucci-san yesterday actually. So I still do have these connections with people regarding different things, and just being able to lift each other up is always a cool thing. And those are my closest friends in the scene at the moment. And I have friends in the scene too, but like from the UK side, it's very little compared to the people outside of the UK. And I'm very blessed that I have such, a massive international like friend group, I guess, or just a group that, um, amassed from this like small thing, and now we're like, we're close, we're closer than I thought we would be. So I'm very grateful for the people around, naturally. So yeah, I mean, look, who knows? Maybe one day we'll get the gang back together again. Hopefully,
Yeah.
that's the hope and pray. But yeah,
Yeah,
we'll see.
there's and I kind of wanted to bring about another your other, I guess, time frame here in the US. The UK scene is McDead.
I wouldn't go that far. The UK scene is still very much thriving. We're in a weird spot where there haven't been that many like big tournaments this year, which I guess it's been a thing that's happened around the entirety of the Smash scene this year. Loads of massive cuts and stuff. But the UK scene it's still thriving quite nicely. I'm just not as involved as I would like to be. And that's partly, if not mostly, on me. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm always a sucker just to go back to NA. I'd love it more than anything. So yeah.
next next rise and grind, next whatever. There's always another tournament, and there's always another
Oh,
opportunity to make
always,
it, you know. And speaking of rise and
always.
grind, I kind of want to talk about your time there, because apparently you didn't
Sure.
do a lot of Smash. You you did you spent the entire time on the FGC side of everything. And
That's correct. Yeah.
for those that don't know, for your reel, the bulk of your reel is
Sorry,
kind
just
of
give
yeah. For those that don't know, the bulk of of the reel takes place with a lot of the FGC side with Rise and Grind. You know, they're calling out I believe Guilty Gear and Street Fighter and just kind of working through that. Like, what I didn't know initially was the fact that he was even a commentator or even involved with FGC. Like, anytime I see someone roll up in a commentary fashion, it's like, oh, this person definitely had all of their Smash stuff situated, and they've been part of the scene or whatever. But the fact that he rolled up with that FGC bit was kind of crazy. I was telling chat that like I didn't realize that you were going to spend that entire portion of your intro to or real teaser as mostly from the FGC side, and that I didn't even know you had experience with FGC when we had first met. It wasn't until later on that I found out that you had some FGC background in commentary, and I probably should have realized that was the case when, again, the infamous laptop corner where everyone was just playing Street Fighter.
Yep. I think what's super interesting about this whole thing is that not a lot of people realize that I do more than just Smash Brothers commentary. I've done work for PUBG. I'm starting to pursue that a lot more these days. Valorant, I've done work for as well. Overwatch, hell, I've done a bunch of Overwatch stuff in the past. But Street Fighter, yeah. The FGC kind of stuff it's nice because most of my closest friends actually introduced me more to those sort of raw fighting games, if that makes sense. So shout out to the Rogue Abode, where a bunch of guys that just love to play fighting games, and they all took me underneath their wing, and they were like, yeah, let's just play some games. Most of them are my closest friends IRL, and they basically just like threw me in with Street Fighter, Tekken, all sorts of games. We're constantly learning as a group together when it comes to different fighting games. And for the last 3 years, was able to build like foundations around just understanding fighting games a little bit more. And it was mostly thanks to that group that I was able to understand Street Fighter a lot more. So, later down the line after Street Fighter 6 came out and after I just spent hours on it, I was like, maybe I should just give some time to do some events. And so I did some like smaller events here and there online. And then I got invited to do Rise and Grind, into which I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And I'd never done offline Street Fighter before this, so they were like, I had applied for Smash first, and then applied for Street Fighter down the line because I got told about it in secret afterwards. And so I did Smash, and then Street Fighter. They sent me an application. I did the application form, got the email. They were like, yeah, you're doing you're in for Smash, right? So I was like, all right, cool. So I mean, I'm obviously under the under the impression that I'm going to be doing Ultimate mostly. And like a week before our schedule is out, I see that I've been put on just Street Fighter stuff, and I'm like, oh, cool. I was both very torn about it, but also very much not. And so I did that, and yeah, after Street Fighter went down, yeah, just kind of kept going with it. But I did complain about it. I was like, I wanted to do some Ultimate. They gave me some Ultimate, one Ultimate block, doubles top 64 on Collision side stream. And I was like, that's a big slap to the face, probably. I don't know. But yeah, I got to do Street Fighter 6. I think it was, I'm trying to think, top 64 on day 1, and then I did top 8 on day 2. And that was sick. Yeah. I was running off caffeine that day, but yeah, it was pretty nice. So, my first ever top 8 major block, but I enjoyed it.
Still wasn't the Panera the lemonade that'll kill you, but whatever. I guess it's fine. I guess.
It was just a simple coffee this time around.
If also real quick, if you ever want to like feel defensive about energy drinks and coffee, your average cup of coffee has about 70 milligrams of caffeine. So if you're drinking 2 Red Bulls and people are like, "Oh my God, that's so horrible for you," and they're like jugging and they've had their like 5th cup of coffee, just know they've had 700 milligrams of caffeine compared to your 200 milligrams between 2 Red Bulls. So I'm just letting you know, man.
Oh, I learn something new every day. The thing is, though, like caffeine got me through my final year. It's the reason why I graduated. I'd stay up late nights to do all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, now I'm just all water these days, and like
Listen,
maybe
man,
tea here and there.
I live off caffeine, man. I work about. I feel like distance is not a good way to understand how far away I work from, because if I were to say, I think about 60-ish miles, as I want to say about like
Wow.
80 kilometers, something like that, give or take. I don't know.
Yeah.
Someone
Wow.
someone can do the conversion, but it's more about time. I work about an hour and a half to 2 hours away, depending on which part of the day has traffic. Right, man. So like I have to wake up like at 4 a.m. every day to start at 6:30. I get home and it's like 5:30 p.m. So most of my day is on the road. So I have to live off caffeine. I live off caffeine.
I feel that because like my job is very similar. I work about an hour and 45 minutes away from where I live, and from where I do live, it is quite hard to get to work. So by the time I get in, it's like 11, I think, in the morning, but I'm normally up at about 7 or 8 o'clock getting ready. And then by the time I'm back, it's almost midnight. So,
oof.
Yeah, it's
Brutal.
rough. But
brutal.
Yeah, that's just how life is now these days, I suppose.
I know, man. It's hard out here, man. But we gotta keep going. We gotta keep grinding. So you've had a couple international moments. You've experienced the same thing that a lot of people are starting to experience. And at the end of 2022, there was a massive loss to Smash Brothers in general, between what happened with the Smash World Tour, what happened with Panda, and the overall ripple effects that kind of hit as a result, right? 2023, it wasn't, we didn't see or feel it as hard, but like there was a big amount of emptiness that was kind of left behind. And, things didn't feel as grand. Things didn't feel as nonstop as they did before. And in a lot of ways, we're feeling that right now. I think right now we're getting maybe the equivalent of like a regional getting ready to become a major, maybe once a month, right? Our only real majors are our tentpole events, and those are with the closure of Shine, with the closure of the closure of just BTS in general. Like some of our big tentpoles are becoming farther and fewer between. And because of that, like a lot of people, especially like on the commentary side, they're kind of like seeing like, man, I'm not getting the blocks like I used to. I'm not getting the events like I used to. Well, those blocks don't exist anymore. Those events don't really hit as hard as they did. They're out there, here and there, but the type of opportunity to be in those type of events aren't exactly the same like they were before. So with that, I kind of want to ask, like, was that a additional motivator, or was things like Rogue Summit kind of like what it was on its own, and not having these other blocks kind of like additional energy you're able to put to it? Like,
yeah,
what was that about?
I think you put it like perfectly, really. When it comes to this whole thing with blocks, right? I think one thing we all need to understand is about the esports scene, that financially it's gone completely downhill.
Mm-hmm.
Realistically, tournaments are shutting down left, right, and center. There's no Rising Grind this year. There's no Wave Dash this year. There's no crown this year, I think, due to funding. There's a bunch of things that have been going wrong. I had applied to Patchwork. Scabs wanted to bring me out for that event, but couldn't financially do it. So he told me I couldn't make it for that event. So I would have been at Patchwork, but it just never went through. Supposed to be a Smash Factor, that never worked out either. So it's sad, but like those individual blocks that I keep missing out on consistently sort of took a hit to my confidence, because it was kind of like, now I'm just kind of not getting the blocks that I feel like I should be getting. But then I kind of thought about it and sat on it. Like, again, yesterday when regen happened, I was like, you can ask my chat, just in a really bad state, because I thought maybe I'd done it, because I did Invasion, which is another regen event, like a couple months before. But getting the denial, I was kind of like, this is really not that good, is it? So I kind of just sat there and thought about it and was like, now what do I do? You know? Rogue Summit's literally in a week. We're celebrating the 1 year anniversary in a week, and I've just been putting all my energy towards that. And as you said before, has that kind of filled up the void? In a sense, yes. Like, when it comes to what's happened this year, we've only run one RS, and that did fairly well. But I wasn't getting any events at that time, and I had something to sort of focus my attention towards, which was that event. And yes, sure, we're not that big. That Rogue Summit is not very big at all. It wasn't, but yeah, it felt, sorry, that was just, yeah. But yeah, it felt really good to just kind of run. Because it did fill that void of, hey, I'm putting on my own tournament with my own production. I've got guys that I'm teaching how to do commentary and stuff like that, and yada yada yada. And even the build up to this Rogue Summit as well, very similar stature, very similar thing. Most of the guys that I'm working with, or my team that I'm working with, I'm teaching them production, I'm teaching them how to promote, and it's a whole thing of, while it is trying to sort of fill that small void up inside me, it is also a thing of, I have something to look forward to, which is always really exciting. So I don't see it as a burden in any way. I see these events as something that I can, strive to really work on. But yeah, getting those blocks has always kind of hit my confidence quite hard. It is what it is, but there's nothing we can do about it, to be honest. Yeah, the Rogue Summit. The Rogue Summit has been a success. I'm very excited for this one. We've had promo art go out over on our Instas and stuff. Lots of promotional material coming out this week for the event. It's promising to be our biggest one yet, for sure. So we're excited.
Yeah, I mean, like, there was always this idea of, when you have something that you want to put towards a passion, sometimes you have to make do with what you don't have, right? I say this a lot, but the early parts of FGC, like here in America on the East Coast, they kind of made do with a very, how can I put this? Unsavory location, very dangerous area, where this legendary arcade that eventually spawned a very important group and scene when it came to the FGC, right? In a lot of the ways, that mirrors so many subculture movements, whether it be, you look at, the punk scene, especially like in its early years, in its infancy, during like some horrendous times, like Margaret Thatcher was still alive, right? That's how you know it was bad. Margaret Thatcher was in charge.
Not exactly very good, is it? No.
Yeah, exactly. Right, man. So that's how you know, like, it was bad in those days. But like, there's a sense of, how are we going to do something for us? How are we going to do something for our people, and still be able to provide that space, or that community for us? Because there's just some people who won't be able to, who don't know if they're going to be able to. And the fact that you're able to, and we're able to create something like Rogue Summit, it keeps, I wouldn't say it keeps, it lends itself to creating more opportunities, not just for, the people that are around, but it gives you that kind of almost escape from those things that you kind of like didn't get to do, didn't get to move on, because at the very least you have something that you can kind of push and mold and kind of like make the best version of that kind of thing for not only self but for people who are involved with, right? And in other ways, you know, selfishly, it gives you more blocks to commentate on, right?
Of course, absolutely.
It makes you more valuable.
I'm not winning the next one, so I mean, I've got a ton to commentate. You know, next week. I'm excited. I'm ready. But yeah, man. Like, as you know, again, you said it perfectly. I couldn't really say it any better myself. Like the fact that we were able to run this event at first, what the whole idea of the Rogue Summit is actually we'll get to that in a sec. But yeah, as you said, like the whole thing in general is just it fills a void. It allows me to do something, allows me to put my energy towards something that's allowing me to feel fulfilled in a sense. And it allows me to look back at something and be like, I actually did something this year instead of I didn't do anything this year. Because I hate the fact that, you know, sometimes I could go through the year not doing anything that I think was quite big, i.e. miss out on an international event or whatever. But looking back on like other projects that I've done, whether it be, you know, videos or whether it be podcasts or whether it even be the Rogue Summit, I'd be very proud of the things that we were able to achieve, even if it is just a small thing. To me, it's a big thing, you know. So it fills the void up very nicely, and I'm just always grateful for the opportunities that, you know, we get to have to, you know, perform for others. So it's nice.
For the uninitiated, I know we were talking about it now for a couple minutes, but for the uninitiated, let us know about Rogue Summit. What was it? Where it came from? Where do you plan on going? Oh, he's rubbing the hands. He might as well just be like,
I love talking about this.
Let us know, man.
I love it. I love it.
Spill it all. We're here for it.
Absolutely, I'd love to. So, the idea came from so we have to go deep back in time, right? 2000. Let me take you back to 2022 real quick. This is May of 2022, my second year of university, and we're just finishing up with it. Actually, no, we just finished.
May of 22. Boris Johnson still did not get the vote of non-confidence.
Oh my God, yeah.
I want to say by that point he already caught COVID a fifth time, something along those lines. I want to say
weird guy, man.
Yeah,
weird guy.
He's
glad he's gone.
He's Donald Trump light, is what I'm going to say.
Yes, he is.
Donald Trump light.
I'm glad he's gone. But yeah, let me take you back to 2022 real quick. So during that sort of midsummer 2022, me and my friends, you know, again, I mentioned them earlier, the Rogue Abode, that small group of fighting game players that I met at university. All of us came together and ran a Dragon Ball FighterZ tournament for the first time because one of my good friends, Gio, was like, "Let's do it," and I was like, "Sure, let's run it." And so we ran a small, very small 10-person, 11-person bracket that went on for like 7 hours because we just decided to take like 3-hour breaks. And it went well. It did really well. People enjoyed it. You know, it was very casual. It was super laid back, and you know, we were kind of like, we want to do that again. And you know, a year later, we didn't have the time or anything to really run it again up until again a year later, so 2023, i.e. last year. And you know, my friend again, Gio, who brought up the initial idea for the Dragon Ball FighterZ tournament previously, was like, "Hey, let's do it again this year." And I go, "Sure, let's do it again this year, but I want to do it different." And he goes, "How? What do you mean different?" And I go, 2 days. Let's make it Summit style, casual couch commentary and everything." And he goes, "Okay, let's do it." And so we do it the first time around, and I'm like, let's throw in an extra bone in it. Let's make it for charity as well. Let's give it something, you know, more. Let's make it more spicy. And he's like, sure, whatever. Let's do that. So we throw it in. We do it all together. It's a 2-day event. I only had like a week to really prepare for it, so I had to get all the equipment from my room. And I'll tell you about the stream setup in a second. It's crazy. So we got all together. You know, I only had the week to prepare throughout a bunch of social media stuff, trailers, the opening. Oh yeah, one thing we do is like we have anime style openings for each one of the Rogue Summits. It's fantastic. I'm biased because I make them, so of course I think it's fantastic, but I think it's also really cool. So you know, we have a bunch of those that we throw out on our channel, and it's really fun. But Yeah, so going back to RS1, that stream setup was super jank. Because again, production was just me. Like it was just me. I was doing everything, tournament, production, everything. So my friend had like a snowball, and we were hosting the tournament in a common room, where I was staying, and there was a table that we had, and we put my monitor on it just for commentary, so you could see what's going on. It was attached to my laptop, which was on the sofa next to us, and then the webcam we had on top of an Xbox Series X. I
Heck
think
yeah.
it was like, yeah, so that was like all the way at the top over there, so we could see the whole couch and everything. So there was like everyone sitting around the couch. We had like a mic in the middle, and then the
Oh
stream,
yeah.
basically how we would do it was my room was like literally the next building over. So the guys, whoever would compete, would go into that room, and I had Twitch set up to another account, and then from that account, I would take the feed from that account and stream it to my actual account, and then have commentary react over that. And that was how we did it. And I was worried about obviously the internet going down. It didn't once, which was actually really surprising. So we had a really successful and smooth stream, but yeah, one of my guys who's in chat right now, Sweet Boy or Ramon, he was like to me, "Yeah, this can't
Yo.
run." I was like, "All right." He was like, "Production needs to step up." I was like, "For sure." So he's now in charge of running our streams. Him and another one of our friends called Ari. Him and yeah, both of them are shout out to both of them. And the TPDC, which is the community that we work with to run these events. They have been the backbone of our tournaments, and they were like, "Yo, your production needs to." It needs to be better. I was like, sure. So now, they've been doing things with their own like APIs and stuff, and
Yeah.
sort of pulling out their own feeds from different streamers, making it easier for us to just use one laptop to really stream everything off of.
Mhm.
My laptop's been like the workhouse for us for the last like 4 events, 5 events that we've done. That thing has been managing itself quite well. So, yeah. Ever since then, we just been like continuously trying our best to just grow the brand as much as possible. And then we did another one in August, which was RS2, which was Street Fighter 6. I won that one, so I was quite happy with that.
Hey.
Um, and then we did RS3 in September. I only had like again 2 weeks to prepare for it, and it was Dragon Ball Fighters. And then we did RS4, which was Grand Blue Fantasy Versus in December. And that was one of the coolest events we put together. We had a couple hiccups here and there, but it was genuinely a really good event, so I enjoyed it quite
Yeah.
a bit. And then most recently, just a month and a half ago, we had RS5, which we did. We ran Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3, or
Ooh.
technically Tenkaichi 4 because of the mod. But
Yeah.
oh my god, was it a tournament? I came second, unfortunately, which sucks. But the tournament itself was absolutely fantastic. And it was a slightly smaller one, but it was great. And yeah, man, look, like we've been able to accomplish so much within the last year that, if you told me a year ago that the things that we were going to do a year later, I would just never believe you at all. So while it was small, some of the milestones we hit were insane. £1,000 or $1,000 for charities worldwide.
That's crazy.
We founded our own brand, or I guess I have something that I want to quickly show real quick.
Go ahead,
Before
man.
we get into that. So, as you obviously know, you obviously introduced the fact that I have and owned a brand new production company called the Final Three Productions. We are the guys that are now. This is, I guess, our first official Rogue Summit as a team. And I was like, to commemorate the occasion, I would get like hoodies done for some of us. I don't know why. Okay, because I'm holding it upside down.
That's why.
But like, you can probably see it better now, but actually you can't. But we got like
Hey.
stuff on the stuff on there and stuff on the back.
Hey. Hell
So
yeah.
it's pretty cool stuff. Like we've got a bunch of different things. We've got a bunch of really cool
Oh
things
yeah.
coming up very, very soon. So we have like that hoodie that I'm very excited about that we're trying to put on sale eventually later down the line. We're
That's
thinking doing
clean, man.
photo
That's
shoots with it and
clean.
stuff. And yeah, it's cool. I want to, obviously use it to expand. And obviously next week we celebrate our 1 year anniversary as a team. So, I'm very
Woo!
excited about it.
Hooray!
And what other way to celebrate it than by running a tournament next week? So, we're running one more Rogue Summit next week, and I'm very, very excited for it because it's a 3-day event this time around.
Mm-hmm.
We're hosting an award show on Thursday night. And then Friday we're doing the kickoff show, which I'll get to in a sec. And then Saturday is the actual day of the tournament. So the Friday show is called the kickoff show. It's a brand new show that we've put together. And
Mm-hmm.
how we're doing it is one thing we noticed with the Rogue Summit is that we love storylines. There have been storylines that have developed throughout all five of the Rogue Summits that we've had,
Mm-hmm.
whether it be rivalries or whatever, and it's caught the attention of our viewers. And so
Mm-hmm.
we were like, let's expand on it, right? So
Yeah.
those day ones, they used to be like tech testing days, but now they're like fully fledged fight cards that we put together with like
Stats and everything,
championships
huh?
and
Yeah.
yeah, man, like I'm putting making my friends fight for my entertainment.
Hell
Um
yeah.
and it's fun, you know, most of these guys are down to do it, so they're gonna do it. And yeah, we're running our very first kickoff show this week. And I'm honestly really excited. We had one for RS5. It didn't really go too well because it was kind of wishy-washy. But this week's one is the very first official kickoff show that we're ever running. I'm both nervous and very excited at the same time. Um, and yeah, it's gonna be good, man. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be great.
Ooh, that's
But yeah,
awesome, man.
that's the gist of it.
As far as the charity portion is concerned,
Sure.
where did that come from? Like, was that part of the first one right away, or where how did that happen? And kind of at this point, how much have you raised now since the very first time?
Sure, yeah. So the first one was the very first time we did a charity thing. At the time of RS1 happening, there was a tragedy that happened in Syria and Turkey,
Hmm.
where there was
The
I don't know
massive
if you
earthquake,
remember, there was
right?
massive, yeah, right. So British Red Cross were doing a campaign, and I was like, we could raise money towards that. I'm sure, you know, like it could be a little bit, but I'm sure it would give our tournament more reason for people to actually not only just watch it, but also support us and support the cause as well, naturally.
Mm.
And so I kind of got attached to wanting to make them charity tournaments, essentially, and just whilst also doing our own thing, but also raising the money for charity. My every single time we run a tournament, my goal isn't to get peak viewership or get like millions of views. My main goal is let's hit that charity pot, and if we can hit that 300 or so that we're planning to raise,
Hmm.
that's a successful event for me. So ever since then, we've just been doing that consistently for various different charities around the world. But ever since RS4. We've just been doing it for PCRF, which is obviously the Palestinian Fund.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, ever since Palestinian Relief Children's Fund, I believe it's called. And so, ever since then, we've just been consistently trying to raise more and more money for charity for those kinds of things. That situation means a lot to me and a lot to the world as well,
Hmm.
as a Muslim man. So I want to be able to try and get people to see the aware, like just try and be aware of the situation through fighting games, through the stories that we're trying to provide, and just through the entertainment, and give us a reason to raise money for charity, essentially.
Certainly,
So that's where
certainly.
that came from. And I'm really happy to say that we've raised over $1,000, £1,000 / dollars, over the last year and a bit. So we've done something that I can't really fathom
Yeah.
myself, but I'm just proud of my team. Really, I'm proud of my team. I'm proud of the guys, the people that come in, to do the events with us. Um, yeah, I just have a really good team, man. I can't complain at all. So
Dude, it's
yeah,
I think it's amazing that like I was saying, you created something to kind of like fill the void because you didn't know where the next version of it was going to exist. So you said, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to do it on my own.
yeah.
And it started off extremely jank, like you said. It's moving forward to become a newer version of what it is going forward. And I'm glad to see that you're able to create something that is greater than not only yourself but greater than the sum of the parts of the final three, and to do good and create good going forward for everyone. And raising this money for Palestinian relief is something astounding. I'm glad you were able to do something. I'm glad you're able to um you know have a foot forward and trying to provide some kind of relief, to the Palestinian people. The other night marked the end of how is it said? Is it Eid?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
the Eid, and there's only two, as much as I've seen, um, coming out of Gaza, Rafah, and everywhere. This was the first thing that I saw that actually made me tear up with
Yeah.
some kind of hope was seeing all of those children celebrating. Someone had like a Bluetooth speaker, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that was some of the
Saw that.
first and only times I've seen, children out of Palestine in the conditions that they're being put through. The fact that they were actually able to laugh and smile for who knows how long it might have been. And it might have been the first time in an extremely long time where they felt some form of joy. And whether or not, those 1,000 pounds probably helped in some way, shape, or form save some of those kids so that they were able to utter, sounds of joy for one night, one moment, surrounded by some of the people that they hope to grow up with, that hope to grow old around, and hope to know. My hope is that what you do with Rogue and Final Three, if you don't ever, decide to go back to mainstream Smash and FGC, and this becomes your main thing, and this is how you do it, especially raising money for Palestinian relief. I hope you the best for that, because
Appreciate it.
Lord knows that that's stuff that we need in this world, right? And if you're able to
Yeah.
do it with commentary and gaming and Budokai Tenkaichi, fuck it, let it be that way.
For sure. I mean, of course, like there's always going to be some sort of way that we can try and spread awareness, and if it's through entertainment, let's do it. If there's any way we can do it, let's do it. I work for an Islamic news channel here in the UK.
Mm,
So I've seen a lot of the things, raw, unedited footage that some days I'd go home and just feel really helpless about, and then I realize there's only so much that I, as a human being, can realistically do for this sort of situation where, whenever we do run these events, it can be, to some people quite literally frowned upon, like, why are you supporting them? I've had a lot of people questioning me about why are we doing this? Um, you know,
mm,
outside of, I haven't told any of my team about this, but I've had people questioning sort of, why am I doing it? And I stand firm on my belief that people deserve to be free.
mm,
And I want to help the world in any way that I can. If you know me, that's just how I am. I want to just help people in any way possible, whether it be through entertaining them, whether it be through just physical acts, anything. So the fact that I get to do it all in one, with the planning of this event, like I'm planning for a major or a regional or something, when it's realistically like a 16-man tournament with just good vibes. I don't care as
mm,
long as I'm helping people. I don't care if it's an official Smash tournament or if it's not an official Smash tournament. Frankly, that doesn't bother me. And I don't care whether or not I get 1K viewers, 2K viewers, 10 viewers, 5 viewers, or even one. All I care about is trying to help those people. That's it. That's all I care about. If we can make that 300, that 300 quid this weekend or this week, then it's a success. It's just that would be the best feeling in the world.
yeah. I mean, there's a stark change that I've seen overall in people's ideas and attitudes to what they've seen and known, and the struggles that the Palestinian people have been and gone through, and the fact that they're day and day and day in and day out more and more people willing to be on the right side of everything is an enormous help. And I hope that that translates to further helping not just immediately with the cause, but also the sympathies that these people deserve, right? And any little thing that people can do, whether it be, there was the Creators for Palestine, where
Yeah,
they raised over $1 million, whether it's that, whether if it's a bunch of streamers saying I'm going to donate $10,000, whether it's an individual lending what they can, and seeing that like the people that they hang around with on day in day out are willing to pay fighting games to raise for that same thing, and they're willing to help these people. I want to see more of that, and I really hope that
yeah,
that continues forward. um Obviously there's difficulty in running something like this in the first place. uh and the payoff is always, yeah, we did something awesome, but that additional payoff that you have of doing something to better the lives of people who have been under an immense struggle that not many people know or are willing to or even able to fathom. um
exactly.
so I thank you for letting Rogue Summit be what it is in that regard. Like, if
Nah, I
if the
mean,
people are
you gotta
there,
thank me.
if people out there have no idea what it is, tune in for the next one, and I'm sure it's going to be not just entertaining games, but for a brilliant reason why something like this can and should exist.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. I'm obviously was going to be a massive advocate for this kind of stuff, and I obviously I always hope that it goes well, but when you do it and you're in the moment of running it, it's like you're doing everything that you can to hit your ultimate goal, really, which is raise money for charity, and let's hope that that
Hmm.
works out. Um, I've had loads of people question me about why I do it. There's no real payoff, and I go, you guys are just blind to the truth. There's loads of payoff, and you guys need to open your eyes and see it. Some people are obviously hesitant because of the political standpoints and whatnot, which I understand completely. But it's like we need to open our eyes. We need to, these are the things that are going on in the world, whether you like it or not. You've seen the narrative. You know what's going on. Let's
Hmm.
do something about it. We're fighting. Through fighting games, through fighting each other, but it's still our way of saying we're ready to fight as well. We're trying to raise as much money as we possibly can to make that happen. So yeah, whenever somebody like thanks me or whatever, it's like I don't want to be taking credit. It's not me that you got to thank. It's me that's got to thank the people involved. Because without anyone, without the players, without the talent that we have on for commentary and stuff, without the people that are behind the scenes running production,
The community
or
at
without
large,
even
right?
the community, yeah, literally just the even the donors as well, we wouldn't be in the position that we are today. There wouldn't be a Rogue Summit 1 year later right now. That it just wouldn't exist because the first one would have bombed out and there would have been no reason for me to continue on. But because the community drive behind it has been so strong, there's naturally just more excitement every time we run a new one. So, you know, um, yeah, it's just super exciting work, super exciting stuff, and we're very excited for the next one. We'll see what happens when it goes down, but yeah, if anyone has time, feel free to hop in and check that out whenever it goes down this week. So yeah,
All right, man,
yeah,
dude. I don't know how much time you got. There's some stuff I had to get to in a little bit. I want to thank you for telling us about your journey, telling us
of course,
about your time traveling, telling the people about Rogue Summit a little bit. Showing off that super cool hoodie for
yeah,
Final Three.
nice.
uh thanks for taking the time, dude. I know it's getting late for some of the people. It's what, about to be 10:30 over there right now.
Yeah, yeah. So I gotta like run after this, go pray, and then I gotta actually fire up my own stream because I promised the guys that we would do something. So I don't want to leave them high and dry. So we will be getting to that very,
All
very
right,
soon.
man. So I want to end it the way we do all the time. 10
Sure.
rapid fire questions. Can be about Smash, FGC, cannot be whatever it is you want it to be. And that's just how it's going to be. You ask questions, I'll answer. Unless you're going to be extremely out of pocket, pretty much nothing's out of
No, absolutely not. Yeah.
Pretty much nothing is off limits, man. So 10 questions, 10 answers. Would you like to say heads or tails? Heads or tails?
I'm down to just go first straight up if you want.
All right, man. What did you want to ask, or did you want to answer?
I'm down to answer.
You're down to answer? All right. So
I'm just kind of looking at the time right now and thinking, how can I do this?
So I'll ask you 10 straight in a row, and then you ask me 10 straight in a row, and then let's see if we can rapid fire this a little bit.
Let's do it.
Thing number 1. What was I think I already know the answer, but what was the biggest shock of difference when you came here to the US that you didn't expect?
That damn medium cup. It was that damn medium cup. I think everyone knows that. I'm telling you, it was the cup. Straight up, it was the cup. So I'm gonna go with that.
You're gonna go with the cup. All right.
Yes. I'm very, very serious. The cup.
All right. Number 2. As uncultured swine that us Americans are, what would be the first thing that you would show, like, as a place to go out or a place to eat, if they were out there in the UK for the first time?
Trying to think of like really good spots, honestly. Nando's, come on, easy.
Ooh, what's there?
If you ever come down there, you gotta go to a Nando's, man. That's like staple here in the UK. It's like a nice like grilled chicken, smoky stuff, like good sauces. It's perfect. Like, a good Nando's is always a good place to check out. So, if you ever come down, that's definitely a place that you guys gotta check out.
Ooh, I'm always down for good sauces.
Yes. They got some damn good ones.
All right. This is a classic never-ending fight for people. Are box controllers cheating?
Got to pick my answer carefully. I don't want to say yeah. I don't think they are. No, I don't think they are. It depends on like how you've sort of modded it, but I don't think they're cheating.
So like I have this little bad boy here. This is from Graham. The folks, as you can see right there, says Graham on the back of the board.
That's fine. Like, that's okay. But I've seen ones with like macros that let you do like crazy wave dashing ability and like Tekken, and I'm like, nah, that's not all right.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, that's actually cheating. That's not in box.
I've seen that, but do I think it's cheating?
Yeah.
It depends on a bunch of different things, but I don't think it's specifically cheating. I think you can get away with being a box player pretty easily. I think
if you suspect them of cheating, you need to force them to use this.
Oh, I've seen this. I've seen that. I saw it you showed it to Momo. I remember seeing this.
The nanogram.
Yeah, it's insane.
If you suspect they're cheating, they get sent to the nanogram.
I need to play that box. I really do. But yeah.
I believe they do have shipping to the UK. They're $35 American. I believe with shipping, it'll probably come out to like
50, 60.
Maybe 60, maybe about 60. 60 pounds.
That's not bad at all.
So
yeah, it's not bad at all.
Really not that bad. So Graham controllers. A shout out to the folks at Graham. So maybe look into it, pick it up, like I said, or if you're very into DIY, they have a bunch of like you can make one of those fully DIY if you want. All right.
Okay.
All right. Question number 4. This is a question that the folks from the Goods from the Woods podcast say all the time to some of their guests. But let me ask you, favorite thing that isn't there anymore growing up, whether it be a food spot, entertainment, whatever. Favorite thing that isn't there anymore.
I would say, like, I don't know, this is kind of deep. The town that I live in general, because it's become such a ghost town as of late, and I was there yesterday. I was walking through it just to take my mind off of things, and I was going through it and just meeting. I saw like my old boss and a bunch of other people as well that in a place that I used to work at. And then just kind of walking through it was like, it's an old ghost town. Like, what happened to this place, kind of thing. So if I had to really put it down to anything, that entire like town center would be like the thing that I would 100% take back. All the color's been washed out, man. Like, it just feels very gray.
Brutal.
So yeah, it's
damn,
rough.
dude. That one is indeed rather rough, man.
It is rough. Yeah.
All right. Kind of sad. All right. Question 5. All right, let's liven this up a little bit. Your first main, and are they still your main? And
first main in Ultimate, or
take that however you want to. Your first main, and are they still your main?
First main technically would have been Sonic in Brawl.
Oh, Brawl Sonic. Okay.
And then I played PM Sonic. But no, I don't main Sonic anymore. I mean, I still have Sonic, but just not as much as I used to. This day I play Pokemon Trainer. That is my best character in Ultimate. And then like a couple other characters. Then it's Sonic. So I am slowly and gradually trying to bring my Sonic back, but he is also kind of boring these days. So I'm kind of like, nah, I'll stick to playing PT. But no, I do not main Sonic anymore, unfortunately.
Well, I know that Villager is probably a little bit higher up, and when the first time I saw you playing Villager and actually kind of cooking, I
was playing Villager yesterday as well on stream. Okay. There are 3 characters because you can ask anyone. I could consistently go random in my streams all the time, right? I just sit there, play random, and for some reason people enjoy it. There are 3 characters that consistently pop up: Villager, Rosalina, and like I think Little Mac. Those 3 characters I never thought I'd ever play. I don't like playing Little Mac, but Rosalina and Villager I'm slowly starting to have like a liking.
Start cooking.
So maybe Villager's up there. Yeah, exactly. Villager might just go up a little bit. So yeah. My Villager's kind of nice. But, yeah.
That's cool. All right. Question number 6. Ooh. Okay. Oh, I like asking this question. If you had a chance to go to any tournament in the world and you'll be, on that stage.
Oh, Genesis, 100%.
Hold on, brother. I'm not done. You gotta let me finish.
Go on.
Any stage in the world, but your entire cast has the grossest, chunkiest, statikiest comms possible with a glitchy cam. But you were on mic. You also get to choose your. You also get to choose your comms partner. A, who would it be? And B, what tournament would it still be worth it to do?
If I'm taking a person down with me, I'm taking Momo. I'm taking Momo down with me, man. Okay, me and Momo Genesis. Run it. Let's do it. I'm taking Momo down with me for sure. There's another it's between him and Nick, but I'm for sure gonna take Momo down with me. I don't feel like taking Nick down with me. I'll take Momo down with me first.
The crunchiest, potatoiest comms you've ever experienced on the grandest stage of Genesis, and you're gonna take Momo down with you. Got you, man.
I'll take Momo down with me, but somehow we'll figure it out. I did it on like no sleep, different times, and I'm sure it'll be fine.
You're able to do it, man.
We'll figure it out. I'll adapt.
Run on hopes and dreams and a sufficient amount of caffeine.
For sure, exactly.
All right. Question number 7. You know what? Speaking of Momo, I asked this question of Momo, and as a Muslim man, I want to know your answer. All right, you
Sure.
have been
Yeah, yeah.
you have been dubbed the Amon of the FGC. You
I
have now
remember this question. Yeah, yeah.
give me two things that are now either haram or halal. Uh, and keep in mind, Arslan Ash has to pay attention to this. Angry Bird has to pay attention to this. What are these two things?
Halal will be top tiers are allowed.
Top tiers are
Not kidding.
allowed?
Best of five all round would definitely be like the halal rule. You play best of five, you don't play best of three. We don't do that. We don't do that no more. We're only playing best of five. What would be haram? Oh, that's a good question. Oh, the most broken character in a game during that meta is banned until like the meta shifts. So like Steve is banned, right? Slayer from Guilty Gear Strive is banned. Who else am thinking? Azucena from Tekken is banned.
So you're telling
Get
me
rid of them so we can have fair competition.
So you're telling me you're going to trick Aquila to say the Shahad, and he's going to no longer be able to play Steve?
Hey, he's by the book, brother. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what to tell you, bro. That's by the brook. So yeah, but Aquila is not gonna play, man.
All right, man.
I'd just be saving the community at that point, to be honest. But I'm joking. I love Aquila. He's a great guy. But yeah.
All right, man.
Him and Mia as well. Mia was nice. I met Mia at Rise and Grind. Very nice person.
Oh,
yeah.
I bet, man. All right.
Yeah, he's...
Oh man. Okay. Question number 8. Tell us. Ooh, how can I say this one? You don't have to tell us the story, but is there a I almost shit my pants story that you can think of off the top of your head?
No, I don't think I can.
Oh, you don't have one? Interesting.
Don't think I have one.
Oh, okay.
Has it happened? Many times. I think but I don't think it's actually. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. No. I think like the most basic of thing would have been like, damn, I'm running late to work and I just haven't used the bathroom, so I've got to like firm that until I get into the office. But like there's traffic and I'm screwed. But no, I don't think I've had any.
You don't have a story about it.
No, I don't think I don't have like no interesting stories, unfortunately. Okay. But
so. Yeah. I asked this because I remember there's a podcast I listened to. They have since disbanded, called New Player Has Joined. Their producer had a story because they had the thing of like, oh, we're going to ask questions, and some of these are silly and some of these are not, and some of these are related to the video game that you're talking about, but some not. And the last one, they said, hey, why don't you just tell us a secret? Just come on, just one little secret. And he told the story about how he shit his pants, but it's not in the way that you think. He got really drunk and high, and he needed to go to the bathroom real bad. And he like couldn't find a bathroom anywhere because he was in the park. So like he like dropped his pants and went behind a tree, and it just happened. The log happened to land in his underwear. He's like, oh no. So he took the underwear and he threw it in, needed to throw it somewhere. Luckily there was an open bathroom that he could have used, and he threw away his underwear in.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's mental. I don't even know what to say, to be honest. Fair play, I guess.
That's a story.
It's definitely a story.
That's one of the stories of all time. All right, question number 9. What is one either food or snack or whatever that if you had the ability to smuggle over here to the US, so people knew how to actually have it for real, what would it be?
Marmalade, without a shadow of a damn doubt, I'd bring that over.
Okay.
It's so good, bro.
Like
It's jam.
like
It's
proper
like proper
marmalade.
marmalade, bro. Oh yeah, like legit stuff. I'd
Ooh,
bring that over
okay.
100%.
All right.
So good, so good.
All right, and very last one. I don't know if I want to make this. I don't know if I want to make this deep. So let's, because we had some pretty deep conversation. Let's make this
We did.
mildly silly. All right. Uh, if you had the choice, and the rest of the world was forced to follow this, right hand drive or left hand drive, all roads will be adjusted to accommodate.
You want me to be honest?
Tell me.
I'm gonna say left.
Ooh, all
A
right.
because I've been to so many countries that just do it that I think it's now wrong, and B because I'm left-handed, so like I just feel like it benefit me in the long run.
Awesome.
So I'm gonna be for real, man. Like I'm gonna say left. So
all right, man. That works. Hey, man, that just means it's easier for me to visit places and not have to worry about it. I still have to worry about manual transmission because us Yankees over here only drive automatic, but that's neither here nor there.
I mean, I tend to do. I would drive automatic. I think like 90% of this country drives automatic. Don't take me up on that. It's probably wrong, but
that's a huge shift. I know before it really wasn't. Yeah, my brother drives
I drive
manual.
standard. Ah,
Yeah,
okay, nice.
My brother drives
Cool.
standard. All right.
I could do standard.
All right, man. Those are the 10 questions. Go ahead, rapid fire your 10 so we can get you out of here.
All right, I'm gonna try to be as fast as possible because I'm already in trouble. So first question is, when did you start getting into content?
So this stems.
When did you start making content?
So this really stems from me wanting to conversate with people a long time ago. It started in kind of when Smash started. It started when Smash started. I wanted to talk to people. I brought my fiance had a camera, and we were like, let me go to these tournaments and talk to people because I knew I was going to be very good. And then I was like, oh, this local is probably the best place to start. Oh, March. Oh, all right. Let's go next week in March, and that was March of 2020, and. Obviously, things didn't transpire, but it actually did kick off officially in November of 21 when I went to my first offline local where I started doing some of these interviews and short form and long form conversations. My first long form conversation was in 22. No, it was in 23. No, the end of 22. That's what it was. It was in the end of 22. It was with Oates of formerly of Major Zine. Now has another zine called Adventure Mode. A lot of people very beloved in SoCal Melee. They're a great person. So that's how I started off because I knew I wasn't going to be very good.
Fair. Nice. Second question. Favorite fighting game, actually, is a question that I tend to ask a lot of people. What's like your favorite fighting game? Boss Smash, obviously.
Favorite, if we want to say traditional fighter, it's between right now Strive and Tekken. It's between Strive and Tekken. Picks. Yeah.
Two very good picks. Yeah.
Yeah. I only play Tekken because I don't always have the excess cash flow to buy every game with all of their DLC and everything. But but yeah, between Tekken and Strive, they're some of my favorites to watch. Street Fighter is amazing and everything, and all the other fighters are great. Dragon Ball Fighters was awesome to see, to watch and everything. But I think as of right now, probably my two favorites are between Strive and Tekken.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. What do you think? I think it's this question before. What do you think is the best controller of all time?
Best controller of all time?
Yep.
GameCube.
Yeah,
Like no,
there we
no.
go. Yes, there was only one right
There's
answer. It is
only
the
it's
GameCube
just
controller.
GameCube controller.
The GameCube controller. It's the
it,
only
it,
right answer,
it's
man. I'm telling you.
it is the controller, right?
Yeah.
If we want to go to like, oh, what's the best leverless? I'm gonna be biased and say the Gram. Maybe it's because I have one and I also have their nanogram. Also had that nanogram over there. But yeah, GameCube controller, probably one of my favorites. Xbox is a very ubiquitous controller, just works on everything, but no lie, GCC.
Hell yeah. GCC is like, it's my ride or die. Dude, I've had this thing for like 15 years. Now I can actually show you my camera is like a lot better. This is peeling off. This is peeling off. And I still use it to this day.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, it's insane. Yeah, so question number 5 is what's your favorite anime opening?
Oh
Would you say it was
man.
like go yeah.
A lot of the anime I watched was really during the Toonami era. So like at
Oh,
the early
beautiful.
2000s. So like I'm talking about original Toonami. There's two versions of the Dragon Ball Z theme song. There's Rise of the Dragon.
Yep.
There's the Rise of the Dragon version, which was from the Ocean dub. Then there was the Funimation opening, which is really good.
Dragon Soul, right?
Yeah, Dragon Soul.
Yeah,
Then
Shala, yeah.
Hechala's, is a classic. But I think the absolute best, as much as I love Dragon Ball, it's kind of hard to compete with Yu Yu Hakusho. It's kind of hard to compete with Yu Yu Hakusho, man. I love it. Trust me. I'm Mexican. Freaking Dragon Ball is in our blood. It is very much in our culture, just like how King of Fighters is, right? It's so deeply ingrained in the culture. Like Mexico got a cease and desist from Funimation because they were putting the last 2 episodes of Dragon Ball Super in their town square, and the Mexican government's like,
yeah, I heard about
Mexican government's like, man, fuck your shit. We're the Mexican government. We're gonna do what I want. What the hell is Toei Animation gonna do, right? Like, as much as I love it, I think Yu Yu Hakusho, that song fucking is a banger, right? I don't know if it can get better than that.
No, for sure. I agree with that. Question number 6. I had it in my head just now. Oh, right, tournaments. That's the one. So was Wave Dash your first major, or did you have another major that you went to before that, or was?
It's my only major.
Yeah, it was Wave
It's
Dash
the only major. Only major I've been to. Other than that, I've been to just locals. I think I technically would have been to a regional, but I didn't have a chance to go. It was during the first Smash World Tour era. The Valley has a team, and they also work out of Oxnard called Dreamcatcher Gaming. They have Tip the Scales, and they have Short Hops, and they're going to be doing Ichigo-Con next month. Last year it was Apollo Kage. I don't know if you heard, but Apollo Kage got ranked in SoCal. That was because he went to like six or 7 tournaments in like a 2-week period, won all of them, and that's how he became ranked in SoCal. All because he was here for like 2 weeks.
Shout out to AK, man.
Yeah, so
especially he was farming stuff, man.
Oh, bro was farming for real. It was fight for second place, really.
There you go.
So yeah, they had an event called Brintstar Depths, and that was part of the Smash World Tour that had like 126 people entrants. I was supposed to go to that, but something happened and I couldn't. So as a result, when they came back, they were relegated to being a local. And yeah, no, I never had a chance to go to another thing that would be considered a major. I think I was there for MSM Zero, the return, and the amount of entrants that could have been considered a regional just for the sheer amount of people who were there. But no, Wave Dash, my last and only.
Yeah, fair enough, man. Uh, yeah, question 8, I think.
7.
Favorite 7. There you go. Thanks. Favorite game of all time. Like, which favorite video game of all time?
Oh man. I think because of the fact that this was the first game me and my brother like super invested time into, it's probably Borderlands. That's
Nice.
probably one of my favorite games of all time because of the amount of time me and him invested into it. Like, granted, Halo's awesome. Fucking Gears of War is amazing. Gears, again, ingrained in Mexican culture. I don't know how that happened, but it just did. Um, but of every game, like I love Tony Hawk, I love all that, but I think probably um because of being able to play with my brother, my younger brother, Borderlands.
Okay, Borderlands. Oh, man. Making it hard. Hmm. Oh, favorite Smash player of all time.
Ooh, favorite Smash player of all time?
Yeah,
Ugh, it's hard. Can I choose one from both games?
yeah, yeah,
At the
yeah.
very
You can, you
least?
can. That'd probably be fair. Yeah, yeah, yeah. One from both games makes it more fair, I suppose,
Okay,
because it's
okay.
like,
So
yeah.
I think on the ultimate side, probably my favorite player of all time is probably going to be Spargo. It's probably going to be
It's a
Spargo.
good pick.
Probably
It's a
going to be
good pick.
Spargo. Like, yeah, it's probably Spargo. Um, like Sonics is really up there too because my man's mental is insane to play the way that he plays at a high level and consistently. Riddles is really up there as well, but like I think overall it's Spargo on the ultimate side. On the melee
Nice.
side, and I feel like that one's tougher because freaking you have the likes of Cody, you have you have the likes of HBox, the legacy of HBox, the legacy of Mango, the rise of J Mook. Axe is like, the people's champ. Ah, Jesus. And then there's Amsa. Fuck. Bucket, I'm just gonna say um for right now, because that it changes so much, I'm gonna say right now it's gonna be Amsa. I
Okay.
love his shit. The fact that he was able to win once he finally broke the barrier. He has an amazing story. Once he broke that barrier, he was able to win so much. The true goat is indeed Yingling, but we can't.
Out in
We
the
that's cheating, my friend. That's cheating.
We can't go that far, unfortunately. But we know Yingling is our goat for sure.
The true
Um,
goat.
there's one event that you could have gone to, past, present, whatever. What event would it be? Like, what would be that event that you would like go to, or like?
Mm, mm. It would have been hilarious to been there at SmashCon and experience, half the confetti.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah,
That would have been
yeah, that would have
hilarious
been
to
cool.
experience in person. The big house
Yes, that's
was
huge.
when Amsa won and
Yes,
Riddles
that was
won.
big.
That was huge. Shit. Honestly, I think it's going to be Summit, but it's going to be one of two summits. It's
That's my
e-
answer.
it's either going to have been, if I was just to be in the crowd or whatever helping or whatever, it was either going to be Summit 11 where Mango wins,
Oh, yeah.
or Summit 4 when Sparkle wins.
Both were really good summits as well.
Both
actually.
are amazing summits. I think it was going to be
They
one
were
of those
very
two.
good.
Either of those two, I
both of them
think
were
would have been
actually
my answer. And if I was allowed to cheat, then that would be the way I would do it.
nice. Okay.
Question number 10, man.
Question number. This is it.
This
This
is
is the question
final.
that I wanted to ask. Who is your dream guest on this show? That is the big question that I wanted to ask. Who's someone that you could have, like, you just DM them out of the blue, like, yeah, let's do it.
It's funny. The folks from Graham asked me the same question, and my answer still has not changed. Yeah, Infinite, you want to get up in here? No. The real answer is I don't know, because I haven't met them yet. The whole point of what I'm trying to do with this, maybe Jojo Siwa, I don't know, maybe. The whole point of like this kind of like this journey is because I want to talk to people and understand their stories, and I want people's stories to be out there that like most people wouldn't think about. Right? There's a million people out there that want to hear what Mango says, what HBox says. They want to see, you know, they want to know about that like top percent, right? And the thing is that they a lot of these people, you know, put in hard work and they have great stories and everything, but everything they do is being documented in some way, shape, or form. And everything that they do is going to be out there for us for the rest of their time within the scene. Good, bad, you know, ups, downs, all of their stuff is going to be documented in some way, shape, or form. What people are not going to know about, they're not going to know about, you know, some casters. They're not going to know about these people out of Texas who are creating controllers. They're not going to hear about the story of these two folks from Ohio that have a Smash inspired clothing line, and their background in hardcore music. People might not know the story of a beloved SoCal personality that has a zine to document you know, different people's experiences within Smash and how they can put artwork and poetry and written word and written history down on like a physical magazine that people can hold on to and look into and hear that story and all the stories that people are willing to contribute. Those are the stories I kind of want to put out there into the world, that I want people to like hear, because you probably don't know. Yeah, people need to hear them. Like, the majority of the scene is not people who are going to ever make top 8. Right? The majority of the scene is everyone else. And I stand by that like I don't know who my dream guest is because I don't know who they are yet.
That's good. I like that. That's a pretty deep answer, but it's a nice answer actually. It's nice. I like it.
All right, man, dude, we're here. We made it to the very end. We got to the end of the questions, and we only took 25 minutes, which is honestly kind of surprising to me. Usually, this could have lasted another hour.
I say we're super efficient. That's what we do.
Exactly, man. Is there anything you want to shout out? Anything that you want people to check out before you head out? You know, socials for yourself, socials for Final Production. Let the people know who don't already know. Give shout outs where you're going to be in the next, you know, couple of weeks, couple of months. I don't know. What do you have out there for us?
So basically, if I want to give a massive shout out, first of all, I want to give a shout out to my community for being here throughout the entirety of this interview. So shout outs to you guys for just flooding the chat. To my friends as well who are also in the chat. Shout out to yeah, so my socials, obviously Mercy_Asura on Twitter, Asura FGC on Twitch, What Asura Does on Instagram. Yeah, as I said before, Asura FGC on Twitch. I'll be live shortly after this. I'm gonna go eat and pray after this, and then I'll be live actually on Twitch so that we can actually do that. Because I feel like I'm gonna get my head stomped in by my parents, so I need to go do all of that stuff. And then I'll be live on Twitch for a little bit. So yeah, you can just find me on Twitch. The Rogue Summit will be live this weekend as well. Please, if you can, check it out. If you're in my Discord server, I will consistently be like posting about it, talking about it tonight as well on stream. So if you can, check it out, because we're trying to do as much as we can for such a good cause. And if you can look into that, or even watch some of the events that we do this week, then it would mean the world. So you can find us there, Final 3 Productions, on YouTube, and yeah, that's it.
All right, man. Thank you very much. Chat.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Thank you, man. And I'm glad we're able to have this chat. Hopefully, you're here in the U.S. again, and we have a chance to hang out for a little bit, if only for at least a little bit. And maybe I can show you some Mexican snacks that you didn't have a chance to have, and I'll be willing to bring them, man. Everybody say goodbye. Goodbye, chat. Woo! All right, that was it, chat. Thank you for so much for being here. Thank you for your time. This is awesome. For everyone who's here that is an international guest, thanks for being here. Thanks for spending time here with us. Do all the whatever social media nonsense is. We have another one planned, hopefully for next week, or not next week, for next month. And if you want to see it, we're going to talk to someone that, again, you probably never knew who they were, but maybe you like hearing their story. You will find out. Stand by for that. Follow the socials. Thank you for being here. It was such a pleasure being having this conversation. I'm gonna leave you with some BRB music. Thank you for being a part of this, everybody. Goodbye.